goes another 20-year-old.
Holy shit, I hate those guys.
Gotta hate 20-year-olds. Fuck these guys. Somebody help these 20-year-olds.
It's time to figure it out, Ricky.
Touch me.
Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me.
Sweet, sweet sound of a true history. 12 swans. Cracking open. Take a listen.
Oh, day 4 of the quarantine. We're already going fucking insane.
In every can.
There's a fart noise with every opening. Cheers.
Cheers, beers.
My quarantine brother. Hopefully neither of us corona.
Mm-hmm.
But welcome to Too Many Jams. It's a show about all things 20-year-old.
And with help from friends, experts, and our own personal experiences, we hope to shed some light on those things that leave our age group lost and confused.
One of those things at our current age happens to be a major worldwide flu pandemic.
Yes. Virus pandemic.
Influenza.
Yes.
But this, I guess, this is another part of growing up. Like, shit gets real sometimes. And if you think about it historically, what different generations have had to deal with.
Beer tastes really fucking good.
Why does it taste so good right now?
I don't know.
You know what? Quarantine beers hit a little different.
Whoa. It's like so good.
Let's give a special shout out to True History, 12 Swans. I know it's a tough time right now with the LCBO potentially closing, restaurants potentially closing, but fuck, this is a good beer.
No, not potentially. I think they have closed.
Oh, that's so sad. Good thing we have a little stockpile.
Yeah, exactly.
Good
thing we know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, we can get some quarantine beers still airdropped to us.
Yeah.
But think about what generations historically have had to deal with compared to our soft ass, Play-Doh, pussy ass, bitch ass generation. I'm talking world wars. That's
true. Yeah.
Where people didn't just get infected and like maybe lose, an elderly aunt and uncle, which is awful nonetheless. I mean, we're talking 17, 18, 25-year-olds, millions of them going overseas and dying in gruesome, horrible deaths. Great Depressions, famine, the recession of like 08.
Yep.
9/11. Like,
I mean, that's been in our lifetime.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But like in terms of...
But not as adults, not as 20-year-olds. People working, trying to make a living.
As adults, plus like in our lifetime, this is probably one of the more sort of worldwide like things to hit. I don't know how to categorize it, but like things to hit that like affects everyone and like, fully sends cities has fully sent cities into lockdown mode.
Yeah. So I've secured, if you're watching on the YouTube, I've secured the bag, literally cashmere, 2-ply. Nothing feels like cashmere.
Yeah. What's the highest ply you can go?
Oh, I'd like to say some people go up to 3.
3-ply? Let me feel that quickly.
Give us a feel.
Let me.
That's a good question. I wish Kev was here to tell us how many plies is.
Oh, this is a good ply.
Yeah, I stole that from my parents.
This is
keep your mic up there.
It's up. If this is 2-ply, like I wonder what when you go into like some real like real public washrooms.
Oh yeah,
that have that like.
It's not about the plies.
Paper string. Is ply not? Because does that not mean thickness?
No, because those are 2-ply in public restrooms as well. But it's like just thin and shitty. So it's really not about the plies.
What does ply mean?
I think it's 2 strips of toilet paper that is like kind of together.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But I also have a tin of Lysol wipes here. And I have a stockpile of what is it called? Fucking hand sanitizer.
Did you?
Yeah, my mom went ape shit. I literally got this care package the other day.
Yeah.
No joke. And my mom stops by. She's like, "Here, this is just a little something for now." She's already dropped off hand sanitizer, Lysol, Lysol wipes, all that shit. Cartons of nuts, get some good sustenance, protein powder.
Nut man.
So I get a little care package the other day, and my mom's just like, okay, here's protein powder. She wasn't saying this, so I'm going through this after she's handed it to me. It's protein powder. Okay, there's a surgical mask. Great. Just one, but you never know when you're going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
There was $140. And that's great, but I got cash.
Wait, why did she give you that money?
I don't know.
Did you ask her about it?
No. Oh, well, I did. So I have the answers today. But I get this care package. I'm like $140. I'm like, okay, like, what a weird number. I have like, I have tons of cash.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah, you're swimming in it. You're rich.
I'm rich, right? What else was in there that I thought was funny? Whatever. Anyway, I'm going through it, and there's also just an iPhone 7 in a plastic bag.
Yeah, I saw that actually too. I was like, what?
So you have to understand how confusing that is.
Yeah.
What is this about? I'm like, what? And I spent a good amount of time thinking about what I'm supposed to do with that iPhone 7.
Why didn't you just call her right away?
I don't know. I was busy. I should have used the new fucking iPhone 7. And I'm sitting there and like, maybe like in case of emergency, you have a backup phone. But I was like, what kind of emergency? It would just be like my phone break? I don't know. I was confused. I spent a little while thinking about that. And only today did I figure out that she just accidentally dropped it in the bag.
Oh.
Yeah.
True.
She
just kind of threw you for a loop.
Threw me for a little loop. But then I asked her, why did she, I'm like, why do you have a phone, period?
Yeah.
It's not like her personal phone.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, we bought it as a backup just in case anyone needs a phone, right? So I was like, okay, still just as weird. But less weird than just dropping it weirdo style into my care package.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I got stockpiles, hand sanitizer, and all this shit.
I was reading, there was I forget where it was, but anyways, this guy stocked up on hand sanitizer and got blocked from multiple reselling sites trying to
fuck that dude.
To like price gouge people. I know, right?
Yeah, I was like, hey dude, fuck you, dude, wherever you are. He got stuck with like 18,000 bottles of hand sanitizer, and I was like kind of happy reading this article. I was like, yeah, except now no one can even get those, like give them out, donate them. When I said I stockpiled them, I mean we just have a good amount, like the right amount for a family of 5.
You're not selling, reselling.
She just had some good forward thinking,
and that's not the only people I read about doing that. There was another family in another couple in BC that was doing it with Lysol wipes, and I've learned through reading these articles that Amazon has got strict policies on price gouging and like reselling stuff on websites apparently. Yeah. So they've blocked like multiple people from trying to do this.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of stuff going around the corona thing, virus, what's been going on, and I just thought we'd talk about it because if no one's got anything to do, normally I feel bad when we don't have like dope content, like a cool guest, but you got fucking nothing better to do. Let's just chat about some of the stuff that we have on the coronavirus. And first things first, I'm loving the memes and the comedy and the shit that's been like, is it?
This is the perfect climate for all the meme lords out there.
Everyone's locked inside. People doing extremely well right now. Meme lords, cam girls, anyone in pornography, video gamers.
Yeah.
And which I'm going to touch on because boy, it's a good time out there. And apparently people that resell Lysol and
exactly
See, I don't mind people making money off of an opportunity, but like
it's taking advantage.
Taking advantage is a different story. Like say you were like a company that sold toilet paper, right? Yeah. And it just so happens that an epidemic comes where people are buying toilet paper like crazy and you make a fuckload of money. That's one thing.
Yeah.
It's another thing to be like, whoa, everyone's buying toilet paper. Let's hike up the prices during an epidemic where people need to wipe their bums. Like
that's why I hate scalpers so much for concerts. Like it's the same thing. Oh, let's just buy all these tickets so nobody can have them and then resell them for a higher price. to make money off this, like doing absolutely nothing.
You know what scalpers aren't doing right now? Selling tickets to fucking anything.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it's all canceled. But so I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast with this guy, Michael Oosthuizen. I forget how to exactly pronounce his last name.
Oosterhout or something?
Osterholm,
that's it. Oosthuizen is the golfer. Louis Oosthuizen.
Yes. Michael Osterholm. He is a infectious disease specialist, and it was a pretty jarring episode. It was pretty real. It kind of made me feel a little bit like poo-poo, but what I liked about it is this guy basically just gave it straight. He said his policy is, during pandemics and stuff, everyone's like, oh, we can't tell the public the truth because they'll just go crazy and you can't trust the public. And he's like, that's so fucking weird. Like, they're all adults. Like, he's like, there was an epidemic of meningitis that broke out in a town in, I think it was Massachusetts. And he said he was on like the task force handling it. He works with the government as well as like working at the universities and being a researcher. And he said that he tried a policy of telling everyone in this town, hey, 1 in 7 people who get this will die. It is very serious. This is all the stuff we know. This is how you get treated. This is how you catch it. This is how deadly it is. These are the facts. Against like a lot of his peers were like, you can't tell them that. They'll go crazy. They'll go insane. And what ended up happening is because it's, I think, kids and younger people get affected by that worse. A few of them ended up dying, right? And instead of people being like, fuck the government, they just were like, okay, we can trust you at least. You know what I mean? Like, so now what do we do to prevent this from happening more? And they took the government's policies and they contained it and all that. Versus if you lie to them, then people are actually going to go insane because they don't know who to trust, who to turn to.
Yeah. I didn't even think that was really a thing. Like what's the government nervous about or worried that people are going to do by being knowledgeable?
It's just like an old kind of adage, like the government knowing something and not wanting to tell the public. You've seen this in like every movie. We can't tell people, they'll go crazy. They'll start to loot stores, blah, 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 this and that. It's like, I'm trying to think of what scenarios where the truth would be so scary that people would, I don't know. It's
like people have access to the internet.
Nowadays, yeah.
They can see all this wild shit online.
But the problem is the internet is as blended and wrong as any. The internet doesn't work anymore. The internet is like Tinder. Early days, it was an amazing place. Worked really well. Then it becomes saturated, becomes too many people, things, voices, like Twitter or whatever. You know what I mean? And once it hits like this point, it becomes almost useless. It's like so effective at giving everyone a voice that it's useless, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Tinder was so effective at getting everyone into the dating pool that the dating pool is so vast on Tinder that you actually can't navigate it.
Yeah. I mean, I get your point, but like a bit of an extreme comparison for what the internet is right now.
I'm just saying, you go on the internet.
Yeah.
I'll show you 100 different credible articles that say one thing.
Yeah.
100 different credible articles that say the opposite. And then 1,000 fake articles surrounding it. And that's not like, I'm saying give me an afternoon.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying, but hasn't that always kind of been the case? Whether it's like if you're writing a paper for a class in university, they ask you like, to get multiple sources because they want you to sort of develop and formulate your own opinion, or like, and what would, like take the best points.
Yeah, right. What do people do though on their own time? Do they read the headline?
Yeah, it's true. People are, I think it speaks more to like how people interact with the internet these days, because everyone is so so like short or like very like passive with the way they consume things. Like people aren't actually reading the articles.
Right.
They're like obsessed with headlines. Music, everything is playlisted for them. They're listening to like 30 seconds of songs instead of.
But I'm saying like early days internet, this was a slow progression. Like people started using the internet early days to post just the news on the internet. Like the New York Times now has just the New York Times online. You can read the paper online, YouTube online, everything moving online. This is great. This is great. Slowly, all these companies started molding their writing to get hits, to get clickbait, to get virality.
Yeah.
And then the quality of the information started degrading because it was all about who's first. First is more important than this or that. Like I'm saying, it's been a slow de-evolution.
Yeah.
There's nothing intrinsically wrong with the internet. It's a reflection of what's wrong with people.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying it's really hard to get clear, concise data on the internet.
Yeah.
You actually have to dive deep, and you can read a full article that sounds convincing from like the UK Journal, and you're like, what is that? That sounds okay.
Yeah.
And then you can read 10 other articles from similar sounding places that are different, and you go, I don't actually know. And then sometimes that's why I like to revert back to just some guy on Joe Rogan, who is a personal expert.
Yeah.
And even though it's biased or it's whatever, it's this and that, he's at least an expert. You can't dispute that. And
but even like what was that movie? Game Changers that came out, which was like a net big.
But that's different. It's not a long form conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a documentary that's got a storyline. It's got production. It's got a narrative. I'm talking about just a couple guys chatting on Joe Rogan, and the Game Changers guy did go on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And so did some anti-Game Changers guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is more real life. That's more just like conversation. You can learn some shit.
Yeah.
Versus like a produced thing, but still that's different than what I'm talking about. Those are heavily researched.
Yeah. My point there was I was just going to say that even that, like a big production like that, I was still reading articles afterwards of people sort of picking apart all the points that they made in that movie as well. There's critics for everything. But that's what the internet's produced also, is just it's easy to make yourself look credible, and it's also created a large community of online trolls and critics and people that'll just like, no matter what kind of content or information you put out there, they're gonna be against what you're saying.
But what you just said though is like exactly it. You're like, then a bunch of articles came out.
Yeah,
they weren't articles. They were written by like someone with a kinesiology degree. That's a personal trainer.
Yeah,
that's like, I disagree. And he wrote this big article on like muscle and fitness or men's health. And you have no idea. And then they're pulling studies. They're pulling like this and that. And it looks official. But what I'm saying is that the documentary did the same thing that I disagree with, is like studies don't mean anything. Groups of studies mean more than one study.
Yeah.
Groups of studies means a lot. It's like, that's how things work. But still, then it's like, who pays for the study, this and that. I really think all that is a big wash of hard to navigate bullshit, because there is just so much of it.
Yeah.
So the documentary was researchers pooling all this information, but with a clear like entertainment and whatever, like agenda driven shit, where another researcher can go and compile a bunch of evidence to not go against it, but to nullify. Like that Game Changers documentary was convincing. Then a bunch of people wrote just critically, which means nothing to me. Then that one guy he was not an expert, but he was good at navigating research, was like, listen, I'm not an expert, but here's all this credible large study research that shows that it's not definitive. That's all he kind of said.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, the game changers made it seem like it was definitive and did like a lot of pseudoscience. Look how hard your dicks are.
Yeah.
You know, like that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You didn't learn anything from that. So he's just like, he was more breaking apart the documentary for being stupid like that. I'm saying the internet is that to the 1,000th degree, boiled down to even smaller, not big productions with a lot of research where somebody with a large body of research can go, hey, it's not definitive. You made some good points, but you can't tell everyone to eat food, just plants based on that. Like we need to know more versus headline battles. Corona is actually going to be fine, or Corona is the worst. Like, I remember reading articles like going to the gym is totally okay. Don't worry about working out. And then articles that are like, don't breathe air with other people because your eyes will fall out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's stupid shit.
It's a whirlpool.
Just endless pool. But like,
so listening to just this guy who's like, I just know things from doing research. And you're like, that's so refreshing. You're not an article writer. You're not a journalist. You're not a blogger, vlogger, influencer, Twitter writer. Like, you're just a guy that does this. I'm like, thanks for being that guy, because that sucks. What an awful job. But he likes it.
It's true. It's like going in and talking to your doctor firsthand, right? If you go into your doctor's office and he tells you something, that's kind of like what you believe. You don't really like.
Don't get me started on this, because I actually don't like doctors anymore either.
Really? But okay, let me finish my point first. That it's sort of the similar in the sense that like, if you look up something online, anything medical related, you'll see 1,000 different things. But like, if you hear one thing from your doctor who you trust as being credible, then that's kind of what you go with.
Okay, I love how we're going on tangents, but we have time to fill. We have time to kill.
Okay. Why did your doctor steer you the wrong way? Just
with my experience with the concussions, I started to lose a little bit of trust in the general practitioner circuit.
Yeah, okay.
1 second, I'm just texting a message. So what I learned is that they say things as confidently when they don't know as when they do, and that made me a little bit worried. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I was going to general practitioners when I was going through my concussion stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, this and that. Yeah, this is what you do. And I'm like, thanks, doc. And obviously it didn't work because they're not specialists in concussions. General practitioners can't be specialists in everything. So I started going to specialists.
Okay, you know what?
No, but wait.
Maybe not doctors in general, but like special. Like, you know what? I was thinking more of specialists.
I'm going to break apart specialists now too. Okay. So then I started going to specialists, and specialists look at every issue through their specialist lens.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if there's a specialist in like a chiropractor or a neurologist or a physiotherapist that specializes in concussions or like whatever it is, acupuncture, like whatever these people specialize in, every issue is solved by their specialty. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't seem convinced.
No, I'm just waiting for you to keep going with your point.
Okay. So I was going. I just didn't know if like you were like disagreeing already, and I was
I'm letting you speak.
Okay, so I was going to these specialists, and they all said, "Yep, I've seen this before. I know what you have. Yeah, I got you." They would do their thing, and it wouldn't work, and they would say it with as much confidence as every other specialist. And I get it that it's their job, and it's like what they've researched, and it's worked for a lot of people. But what I really needed was a group of specialists that realize that there's the body is a complex system, and you see that a lot with osteopaths that look at systems. But it ended up being like 3 different things that really helped me, 3 different individual specialists. But if you ask those 3 specialists, they only think that they cured it through their thing. But then when you talk to me, who's did all the research for years trying to fix myself, saw 14 different specialists, spent a boatload of money doing all this stuff trying to fix my head, I now have a really unique perspective on how to gather information and how to like cure yourself and stuff like that. And then I go into these specialists and hear them describe things to me that I don't know more than them, but I know more than them about my situation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they would tell me stuff and I'm like, you're just wrong, because I've done this before with other people and you say it as confidently. And then I started to be like, medicine nowadays, general practitioners are like your neighborhood mechanic. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're really fucking good for the basics. Like if you just need to go in there, get your tires changed, checked, oil, things that happen a lot, like cold, flu, you know what I'm saying? Like
sure, yeah.
Really general stuff. There's nobody better on the earth and they're great at it. They're specialists that, yeah, when you break a piece of suspension or whatever, like, or you hit the body, maybe you go to a body shop. You know, maybe when you need a knee replacement, yeah, you have to go to a pediatric surgeon or whatever they're called. I don't know. But when you have issues that need to be diagnosed, that are a bit on the fringe, there is no like level above that collects specialties that like collaborate and diagnose things that are like, you know, the car's just running funny. The body's just running funny. And because of that, a lot of people get misdiagnosed, get prescribed drugs too early, get down all these paths. They go to their GP for something that's like a chronic disease and get misdiagnosed and die. You know what I mean? Like I think like doctors, like the internet, whatever, the answer is always a blend of results. You can't just go to the internet to fix yourself.
No.
You need to go to the internet, find a group of specialists to talk to as well, get some of your own research, figure out like the drugs and stuff that are out there or like the treatments that are out there, then talk to the specialists, get their input, 2 or 3 of them, and then formulate an opinion. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, makes sense. Because not every what's the saying? Not every shoe fits, or not every
Dude, I'm gonna let you soak in this one because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Not every I don't know what the saying is. Shoe fits the same, or I don't know. You know, there's a different.
What was that? Sorry.
There's a different avenue for each.
Different strokes for different folks.
Sure, different strokes for different.
I don't
folks.
know.
That one works.
Anyway, another tangent. This Osterholm. He was just an expert, and it was cool to listen to. Give it a look, give it a listen, because he just said some shit, and we haven't even talked about coronavirus yet. What he said, but he said basically that this is not a short-term thing.
Yeah,
you know, we could be in a state like this for 2-3 months at least,
like of lockdown state.
Yeah.
Really, eh?
Yeah, or of at least social isolation, reduce interaction, yeah.
Yeah.
He said that we have to start having at least a longer term look on how we're going to stay this way for a longer period of time. It's not going to be a short blitz.
Yeah. I mean, we've been fortunate enough that Canada has relatively remained low in numbers in terms of cases and deaths so far. But
he said that's just like he said it's gonna most people are gonna get it. He's like, it's not.
Yeah.
You can't really function in a society in total isolation.
Yeah.
Like you guys saw 10 people yesterday each. You know what I mean? And then we're together. That's like 50 people that we've interacted with. I got a bagel from a bagel house because I was hungry.
Yeah.
Like there's just like it's too many contact points.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole point is just slowing it down so it doesn't all hit our healthcare system at the same time. That's the only issue. It's not how many people get it total. It's how many people get it at once.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So he's saying shit like that. So he's like, it's really, like they said, 30 to 70% of Canadians are going to get it. That's a huge range. It's like me saying 0 to 100. Like it's only 30 off on either side. 0 to 100% of Canadians will get coronavirus.
Right. Yeah.
Would you believe that? It's like, thanks.
Sure.
Thanks for the range, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, why even throw a range out there if it's that
right?
That like, wide? Just say the majority of Canadians will get it.
Keep that number to yourself.
Yeah, the majority of Canadians will get coronavirus. He said that the way it's mapped out, like he predicted, I think it was like 49 million hospitalizations, which is a fuckload.
He predicted that?
Yeah, and it's not just him.
Worldwide?
I think so. Listen to the episode. Don't let me paraphrase it wrong, but yeah. So this is a team of researchers that maps stuff like this.
Yeah.
That has been on top of coronavirus and that predicted its... He's like, not only did we predict its early stage development, like we've been right so far at how it's spread across the world. Like,
yeah.
They're really good at mapping stuff like this. So I think he said 400,000 or 500,000 deaths
in total worldwide.
I think so.
They were predicting.
Yeah, I think so. So
interesting.
Anyway, he was just saying all this shit, and he's like, it's scary, but it's the truth, and you got to know the truth. And it's more of a wake-up call that we as a global community do not stockpile healthcare stuff. Like drugs, masks, sanitizers, shit like that. People run out. So that's what's been happening in Italy. It's not that this isn't something treatable, that they can take care of people. It's people are dying because they're running out of resources. It's happening too fast. There wasn't stockpiles. So he's just saying that this is a worldwide wake-up call that stuff like this is coming often. Mm-hmm. Every, like SARS was 2003, so every 15 or so years. Mm-hmm. Things like this happen.
Every 15 years, he thinks.
No, he's not saying like every 15 years it will happen, but he said this stuff will happen with frequency. Yeah. Like the last one was 15 years ago, but then there was also Ebola and Zika in between. And diseases like this develop commonly. So he's just like, this is a wake-up call. We will get through Corona. People will die. Like, he said it was...
Did he touch on the origins of what, like, some of the bad ones, like Ebola and, like, I'd be curious where those, kind of how they sort of came about into...
No. But he did talk about how
humans,
how Corona came about.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, he just... Well, what happens is these diseases live in animals often. Coronaviruses exist in animals all the time. Like, think about other viruses that exist in animals, like he mentioned mad cow. Yeah. Remember that? There's any...
Like the one with mosquitoes, what is that? Swine? Swine flu.
Was it swine flu?
I think so, swine.
But so what ends up happening is there's some animals that, share some comparisons with humans. Yeah. So these flus, these influenzas, these whatever coronaviruses, I don't know what they're called, they get into different animals and they mutate and they get stronger and they get better at attacking whatever they're in. And the more that those animals have some similarities with humans, the more likely it is that those eventually can make it to humans and stuff. So it was like, he was just saying how this stuff it's not that it's common and it's going to happen in 15 years. It's just that it will happen again inevitably.
Yeah. And to be prepared for it.
And it could be any different mutation of anything. So this particular disease, it's great that it's relatively easy to kill with antibacteria. It dies in high heat. That's why a lot of the southern climates don't have...
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there's certain things that are very controllable about it, but it's extremely contagious because it's in your breath. Mm-hmm. It lives in your throat. That's why it's so contagious. And why is it also contagious? Because of the incubation period is so long before you have symptoms. Yeah. So these are things that make it spread so well, which is why it has.
Can you spread it while you're incubating it though?
Yes. That's the whole point. So you're infectious before you're sick. You guys, you could have corona right now and you would have no fucking clue.
Really? You
didn't know that?
I knew it was like highly contagious. I just wasn't sure about, if it's laying dormant in you, then whether you can pass it off.
You are what they're showing why this is so contagious is that you are extremely contagious before you've shown your first symptom. Yeah. For days. So you're walking around all good and happy, but the virus is in your throat in high levels and it's coming out in your breath. And if you can smell someone's breath, you're ingesting the bacteria on the air particles, on the moisture particles.
Interesting.
But again, just listen to this guy saying, get the full lowdown. It's scary. All this stuff is scary to hear. But now you know. Like, I can't believe it. Like, and imagine how many people like you are out there being like, I don't have symptoms, I don't have corona.
Well, I knew the thing about, it lays it lays dormant in your body for like, up to a 2-week period. I don't know if
it was that long.
It's like 10 to 14 days.
I think it's more like 4 to 8 or like 4 to like it was not. They were worried it was that long, but I think it maxes out at like 9 or 10.
I knew that was a thing. I just didn't know.
Dormant means sorry, not dormant. Dormant is the incubation stage. Incubation stage means it's growing in you, but it's contagious that entire time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like, listen to it. I don't know. I got a text from a buddy. His dad got a message from a friend in Hong Kong with some tips. I don't know if these are real or not, like real. I don't know if they're credible, but there was some decent stuff in here. I'll read it. I already read it to you guys, but I'll read it to the podcast. So again, take this with a grain of salt. This isn't from like that Osterholm guy. This is just from like a text. It could be bullshit, but the new coronavirus may not show signs of infection for many days. How can one know if he or she is infected? By the time they have a fever and or cough and go to the hospital, the lung is usually 50% fibrosis. And I think fibrosis is a result of this infection. It's like a degradation of like the lung function. Taiwan experts provide a simple self-check that we can do every morning. Take a deep breath and hold your breath for more than 10 seconds. If you can complete it successfully without coughing, without discomfort, stiffness, or tightness, it proves there is no fibrosis in the lungs, which indicates no infection. I've heard this from a few people. I don't know if that's real or not. That's like one of those like internet things you got to Google. I have no fucking clue. It definitely makes sense. I guess if your lungs are already degrading, that's a good way to figure it out. But I don't think it could tell if it's in the incubation stage if you do that. Another thing it said is everyone should ensure your mouth and throats are moist, never dry. Take a few sips of water every 50 minutes at least. Even if the virus gets into your mouth, drinking water or other liquids can wash them down through your throat and into the stomach. Once there, your stomach acid will kill the virus. If you don't drink enough water more regularly, the virus can enter your windpipe and go into the lungs, which is where it obviously spreads. If you have and this is like how to like kind of diagnose your sickness. If you have a runny nose and phlegm and stuff, that's more likely a common cold. Coronavirus pneumonia is a dry cough with no runny nose. So just like if you're like, oh, I'm sick and I have a runny nose and phlegm, maybe don't go crazy and think it's pneumonia. Coronavirus. I think coronavirus also comes with a fever. I've heard that. But again, by that point, you're already sick and you've infected a bunch of people. I think that was like the bulk of. Oh, it said drink warm water. That's more effective for all viruses. It says cold water, not so much. This sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
It says if someone sneezes, it can go 10 feet before it drops on the ground and is no longer airborne. This virus can live on metal surfaces for 12 hours. It can live on fabric for 6 to 12 hours. It's easily killed by antibacterial soap or detergent. It can only live on your hand for 5 to 10 minutes, but wash your hands frequently because they can keep coming in contact with the clothes or the shit. That's everything. That to me sounds like a mix of internet bullshit if I've ever heard it, but probably some good stuff in there. Like it wouldn't hurt to do that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. The stuff about drinking water and stuff. It's like,
how do you know though?
How do you know? It's like they haven't cured it, but like what, drinking water is going to like.
No, I'm saying how do you know it's not good just because it doesn't sound good? I mean, like there's no harm to drinking water.
Yeah.
Maybe that's right.
It's possible.
But it's again, I could go and Google that and I'd find an article that's like, that would do nothing. You're so stupid. And another article being like, it's actually shown that drinking water can provide a little bit of a... Anyway. So it's like, it's useless spouting all this information. It's just a little scary, man, because I don't want to give it to my parents. You know? It's...
Yeah.
I just think the younger people that are like still at uni and are like crushing beers and whatever, just don't go home.
Well, I don't think that's the case. Is it? Like, are people still?
Yeah, uni's canceled. People
like,
are going
uni's
home.
canceled right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would stay in your uni towns.
Yeah.
And just like keep getting crushed with the boys. But like but even that's tough because then if it spreads wildly through them,
yeah,
and then they all like pass it to their aunts and uncles at one random. It's like actually just fuck you kids. Actually just isolate. I'm sorry. Don't booze.
I mean, I'm gonna go home and isolate with my parents tomorrow. It's a game plan. As are you,
buddy. Other than the fact that we're having a real hard time making money because all the real estate photography shoots emailed us back canceling.
Yeah.
Bartending shut down.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You want to know how many phone calls I've gotten today?
How many?
No lie.
Yeah.
15 spam phone calls today.
No shit.
No lie. Like it's actually what are you selling me?
Yeah.
What you think everyone just because everyone's home quarantined that you're just gonna let's ramp up the calls, boys. Fucking
I don't know. There's gotta be like a way to like. Is there an app for that? You can block them.
I think you can pay money.
Yeah.
For a service to like I don't know. I really actually have no idea.
You should look into it.
But no, this
that also shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't have to like be like pay for a service to block your phone number.
I might have made that up. Someone told me that too.
I don't know.
You know how much wrong stuff is in my head at a given moment? How many things I hear from people and I'm just like, oh, this or that.
Yeah.
No one knows fucking anything. Back in the day, before the internet, people used to just say things and that would just catch on and that's what people would believe. People are actually fucking dumb. The more I think about myself, I consider myself a smart person.
Yeah.
The more I realize how dumb I am, the more I think about how dumb everyone else must also be. Do you know? We know nothing. People specialize in a few things and collectively we're smart, but individually we're pretty fucking dumb. And like, we do stupid things. We're addicted. We're like, we can't control our emotions. We don't really understand what's going on. It's actually insane.
There's all these tools to help you, but like at the end of the day, it's like you're really gonna like decide who you want to be. You're gonna choose what you want to hear. You're gonna have your own belief system made up and like.
You just live in your world.
You're gonna live in your own world, regardless.
How you think people think of you is basically just a reflection of what you think of yourself. Like what you see in the world, how you explain the world is just a reflection. Like what you see in the world is just a reflection of what you see in the world.
Yeah, totally.
If you think like, if you think anything about yourself, it's only made true by yourself doing that. But, it's just like everything gets so clear during these like states of the world shuts down and then you get a beat to like everyone's like, whoa, what the fuck have we been doing for 30 years? Like, like you get a beat and you're like, I've just been in the hamster wheel, not thinking about anything. It's kind of crazy.
My dad was making the comment about how it's interesting how the world has been so globalized, for the past little bit since means of travel have infinitely gotten better.
Yeah.
More like borders are just kind of open to everywhere, or open to anyone throughout the world and stuff. And people have just, really taken advantage of that and gone everywhere, right? Globally. And now with the coronavirus happening, it's like it's kind of funny how every government is kind of saying, "Okay, come back home now."
Yeah.
And like let's like lock ourselves back into like our own little areas for a bit to like, manage from home base.
Yeah, it's actually really, honestly, it's an awful scenario, but I'm assuming that only good things will come.
Yeah.
Usually from every major tragedy, like world wars, the depressions, there's a big lesson learned in like what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone's in a rush to get in a world war again.
No.
No.
I one thing I keep thinking about is just like there's going to be some stories at the end of this, like 2 weeks, month, or however long quarantine, self-isolation goes on for, about, offices that got looted, or like,
oh, you think?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some criminal nonsense that happens during this like period of shutdown
nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Is it like what?
Like,
yeah.
This is a perfect time for people to take advantage. Like imagine like the security they probably have at like if you were an art thief, they shut down like all these like crazy museums in Europe. Like, when was the last time, like, for like a couple week period,
you
these
could get
museums,
that, you get the Mona fucking Lisa,
right? They've been shut down for that long. Like,
still, man, I don't know. I don't know. Those buildings, there would need to be some Ocean 12 shit. Like,
yeah,
they've gotten to the point where I think enough art thievery has happened where they're just like, we're just not gonna build a big worldwide most expensive art in the world museum that can be thievery that easily,
I don't know, man.
I think physical security is the easiest thing, like securing physical objects like art. And
yeah,
I think we've got that figured out. I think the only thing people can't figure out how to do yet is the whole cyber business. It's like the next frontier. Like, for a while, physical thievery was like the wave because we didn't have the technology to like. Actually, when you think about it, alarm systems are technology. That's internet. That's hackable shit.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's still, I mean, I don't know much, but I just feel like there's still like a big sort of underground black market for this stuff. People make a living off of, you
can't say that anymore. It's African American market.
I think that's more racist.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's funny. I don't even know why that's funny. There's just things get funnier in quarantine. I'll tell you that. We'll see. Only time will tell. I don't think we have anything to worry about. Which,
knock on wood.
Tell me the honest truth. The Mona Lisa goes missing tomorrow. You lose a wink of sleep. Do you lose a wink of fucking sleep?
No, but I'd give myself a pat on the back for
calling it.
Yeah, for calling it. Also, today was kind of weird. It's like, Liv was here.
Liv is Rob's girlfriend.
My girlfriend. She was here. She's here quite a bit also, and we do have a lot of days where we just kind of hang out, like days off work, whatnot. But like, I don't know why, but like today, it felt like it was harder to like kill time in some ways. I don't know. I just like felt like really out of routine because like it's been announced that like, oh, like isolate, you're like, you got this time and stuff. I just felt so out of routine, like, because like we do this all the time, but today it felt harder to kind of like keep yourself busy or entertained in some ways. Do you know?
No, I don't, because I've been literally the most entertained I've been in a long Okay, anyone out there who shit talked video games ever, you're wrong. Because I'm having the time of my fucking life in quarantine. I zip off into virtual Call of Duty land. I squat up with my motherfucking boys. We get on the headsets. We get our guns. We drop into the war zone. And I spend as much time as I need in there because it never gets old. Video games are imagine movies and TV shows, except you get to manipulate what goes on. So it never gets old. They're the fucking GOAT. And a lot of people I feel like a lot of people slept on video games because it used to be some nerd shit. But now, you look at the young kids, a lot. Like I'd say like the cool kids are on video games.
I don't know, man. I can't provide much. But because I've never been a video game guy.
Because like in our time,
yeah,
we still were like, oh, cool kids get out skateboard, they go biking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They play sports. I was fortunate enough to be such an all-arounder that I could do it all.
You're just a fucking.
I
all-arounder.
Yeah, I did all the sports, but I also came home and it was like, when I was 11 years old, I said, this will be the future. So I put in my time. I got my dexterity up. And I just kept it going. And yeah, there was a lot of dark years. I'd say from 23 to 27, where I kind of felt like a bit of a fucking loser playing video games every now and then. I'm like, what am I doing? I would like third party look at myself playing Assassin's Creed, 26 in my room. I'm like, hey, you loser. And then it came full circle to this quarantine where I strapped in, sat at my chair, and I didn't have anything to do all weekend. Not a fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I played video games the whole time and I never got bored. And I'm like, right, because when there's time to kill, I don't think there's a better thing to fucking do. Like, when I mean like you actually can't do anything. We can't work out. We can't shop, do work, fucking anything. Video games are the peak.
Yeah. I mean, strapped on an Oculus the other day.
Just whacked off for 8 hours. You never get tired of that, do you?
Oculus, yeah. If I were to get a system, I'd get an Oculus. Those things are fucking radical.
See that? I think I could get tired. I think I could get tired of virtual reality.
Yeah, because you gotta stand. You gotta it's a little more work, a little more interactive.
And it's not like the thing about video games now is the console video games are like the normal video games we have that have like a controller or use a mouse and a keyboard.
Yeah,
they've been around for so long that they're exceptional at being good at entertaining us.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the technology on virtual reality is so new, it's still like so limiting.
I don't know. They're getting there. Like you don't even need. My cousin was saying you don't even need the controllers with the new update. Like it literally picks up your hands.
Oh shit!
As like things to use. Like you can like virtual reality. You can like pick things up, and it tracks your hand. You don't even need
craziness.
It's cool.
Yeah, but I'm saying like give that 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 years.
Yeah.
Where you're playing like this same caliber game that I'm playing now.
Yeah. Okay.
In the virtual world.
Yeah.
I'll be over there spending $1,000 to $2,000 saying what up to the virtual homies.
Yeah.
But at the moment, no one's on it. No one, like, you're not playing with anybody.
I don't know, man. I was so blown away.
I would get it only for the virtual porn.
Have you tried it yet?
No. And the thing is, I know I don't even think I'd buy it for virtual porn. Because
no,
I don't even I'm not even that into porn.
I'm not even that big of a porn guy. Like the games on it though were so fun. It's this world. I mean I told you this. I took off the VR mask. And I was like, real world kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I was like, let me back in there.
You got a virtual family. You're virtually rich.
Right.
Fucking virtually everything's going great for you. Take the goggles off. You're just in this like old home in Forest Hill. It's like, wow, it sucks.
But that's. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, things to do while in quarantine. What can people do?
Okay, games.
Okay, well, gaming. Okay, we just talked about gaming.
Yeah, but what about like like
Call of
board
Duty's
games?
Board games. Honestly,
like with everyone going home to your families, like honestly, I might play a couple board games this week.
That is to me the most boring thing I've ever heard. Like the only thing good about board games is being face to face with people. That's the only thing. Like I just like actually talking and hanging with people while something funny is happening.
Oh, I mean, like I'll do that at like 6 o'clock when we're all having like a couple drinks.
I'm in the war zone.
Okay, what about get out?
Work out?
Yeah,
Do some home workouts.
Some home workouts.
I'm sure a lot of people have to work from home.
Go for a run.
I'm thinking, now is the time. If you've ever been a person that's like, I'd really like to do this, but I never have the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know that long list of things people say, I'd love to do this, but I don't have the time?
Yeah.
If I hear you say that after this quarantine, you're a liar. I'm putting that on record. If you've told me, I really like to do this, but I don't have the time, and it's something you can do at home.
Yeah.
I'll put that caveat. Not like I've really wanted to go take cooking lessons. Actually, no. Fuck that. If you want to learn to cook, it's a perfect time. I'm trying to think of examples of things that would be limiting with the quarantine.
Yeah, like if you want to like skydive or something.
I still think you could pull that off. I feel like those guys are they're into the risks. They're like, bring that on.
The risk takers, yeah.
Yeah, they're not closing down for coronavirus.
If you wanted to rob a bank.
Now's a perfect time too. If you wanted to learn how to salsa dance, you could learn that through YouTube. There's honestly fucking nothing you can't do at home.
If you want to go shopping,
still open.
If you want to go,
I don't think you're missing the point as well. I'm talking about like,
I don't know. I'm just saying shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying like now's a perfect time, if anything, for you to realize that the real reason you haven't been doing that thing wasn't because of time. It's because you haven't been making the time, because now there's nothing but time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you said you wanted to read more books, learn how to cook better, learn how to...
That's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to read some books. I think.
We'll check back in next week to see if Robbie read books.
Cool.
Me, on the other hand, because again, perfect all-arounder, need no improvement, so good, I'm just going to spend the entire time video gaming because... This is
You're
so
a fucking loser.
Fun. It's so fun. All right. Anyway, stay safe, socially isolate, and if you're going to follow anyone's medical advice, please Google a few alternate opinions and
Wikipedia. That's all you need.
I don't know about that either. And on that note,
we'll see you next
Tuesday.
Guess what, bitch? Coronavirus! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real!
Hold up.